Medialooks. Hello everyone, I'm Daniel, pre-sale engineer here with you, and I would like to introduce my colleague Alex here with us. So this is a product manager and awesome guy, a huge experience in broadcasting. Okay, Alex, say hello to everyone.
Hello, everybody.
Hello, and now this is the second webinar, and very new experience for us. But we want to introduce our best friends from America and great streamers from Ranger Dangerous team. Awesome team that streams his game on Twitch. Holton here is with us. Okay, hello Holton.
Hey guys, how you doing out there?
I suppose everything best on each side. So Holton help us to show you the real scenario with Medialooks Video Transport, and we show you how we can use Mix Minus new brand feature in Medialooks Video Transport application. But by the first, I want to show you the standard scenario and tell you some words about our company. Medialooks company, working more than 11 years in video broadcasting created software. Our main product is software developed kits for creating software for broadcasting. But today we told more about video transport application. I suppose you know our application and our web interface with server version. I want to show you the classic scenario, peer-to-peer connection between two studios, between Holton and me. Now we already started. I share my screen to show you how it's working. When you start working with Medialooks Video Transport web interface, the first that you can see, this is our control panel in your personal account. Here you can see more information about your account, your login, publisher ID. If you're working with some partner, you can download or buying your license, main license file through this button, download license, and downloading partner license file if you need to connect some another guys out of your company. Here, through this button, download release, you can downloading release version. And of course, very soon, I suppose tomorrow, we have a new release with new feature, Mix Minus now. Mix Minus function available in beta version. You can download it beta version through this button, download beta. Unpack the file. This folder looks like my folder of video transport. Take your license file from your cabinet and put your license file in the folder of video transport. After that, you have two ways for working with our solution. You can start publisher application and receiver application. Each application looks like my screen. This end user application, only Windows-based application, of course. We have a lot of question about when we are planning to starting macOS or another operation system version of our application, but now we're working only on Windows-based machine. And Holton, please, I see you already published some stream from your site. Am I right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, let's try to get, yeah, I have your screen. If you remember, we're staying in Russia and Holton from America, and this is a different part of our Earth. So I can start outputting and get really remote feeds, video feeds from Holton to my site. And latency, let's look at latency. Latency not more than 250 milliseconds now. It's amazing latency, really ultra low latency. So it's really great. Okay, let's do the second part of our webinar, how we can create a webguest link with automatically Mix Minus. And now I need to help my colleague, Alex. He can show us how we can combine video streams from multi-view, from multi-source, from different location to our main studio, mixing and send the stream to each remote guest. Please, Alex.
Yeah, hello everybody once again. So as Daniel already showed you, the main application which I'm showing to you right now is the VT publisher and VT receiver. They work straightforward. One is sending streams, another one is receiving one. And one of the cool features is that you can put any stream which you are outputting from your location and make it the main return studio feed which you'll be sending to all the guests who need to participate. And all you have to do is just right click at the source which you have published in the one which will be your studio feed and just copy web guest URL. And then you can open this web guest in any web browser, basically. Let me just show it to you here. So I can just paste it here. I have a bunch of cameras, so probably haven't got the right one at the very beginning. Yeah, here is my another camera. So this is the studio feed, and again, on it's the right camera should be. Too many sources here. Okay. Now I have my camera and the return feed from, I can hide my camera so I can see on the return feed. And now I got my video feed as a guest here, web guest. And now let me ask our colleagues from Daniel and Holton to open this link. So I'll be actually getting the streams from them, not locally. As you see, mine is frozen now. This is a Daniel feed. And Holton, please shut down your camera in Zoom first and then open the link at your side. Yeah.
And while we're waiting Holton connection through the web guest link, I want to say that now my link open on MacBook Air in Safari browser, and it's working very well. So I can connect web remote guest through the not only Windows-based PC, but I can use MacBook or smartphone or another devices in any browser.
Holton, I don't see your feed yet. Have you opened the link which we haven't previously sent to you?
Yes, it's open. I see it on my end to you. I see you in the web guest link as well.
Oh, okay, probably this is you. Note. Oh, sorry. Oh, it's another one. Yeah. So this is another feed I'm getting from Holden. As for the web guest link, it's not yet. Probably can just try to refresh the page. Okay.
There we go.
Yeah, here
There
we go. So this is a feed from Holton, and now I can just stop the screen share. So I can just at my screen here. Now we can do some fancy magic. Like we have two guests here right next to me, Daniel and Holton. And this is like the normal scenario for any studio feeds. You have a host, you have two guests, and we can switch to another layout if I would like to show some other images instead of me, probably to mix to some kind of graphics here or any other feed. Actually, there is another feed I'm getting from Holton. So his desktop with some applications running. So Holton, you can try to move around and show that it's live. Yeah, this is another feed coming from Holton. So yeah, everything happening live. And one of the main features we would like to showcase today, one of the requested features, one of the most requested features. Let me switch back to my camera. So, yeah. One of the main features we would like to show today is the automatic mix minus creation, which is the brand new feature. And here's how it works. So now for any studio feed you are sending, you can just right click here and go into the settings tab. And here we have a new option, web guest mix minus enabled. And you just have to put it into the true. And after that, everybody who is connecting to the same web guest URL will automatically get the mix minus associated with them. So he will hear everybody else in the group who is also connected to the same web guest URL, the audio from the studio, but not himself. So basically the proper mix minus for everybody who is joining. The only thing you have to provide is that in this feed coming from the studio, you have to make the total mix minus. That means that you have to send only music or the host audio, so everything except any guests you are getting from our feeds from Medialooks. So the rest of the mix minus creation, including adding the rest of the guests to the group, will be done automatically inside our software, and no hassle here anymore. It was one of the most requested feature for the last half a year probably, and it's finally available in the latest version, which is in beta right now, 5.9.8 at the end. You can download it from your account. Just look at the beta version. It's not the final release yet. It's going to be released probably tomorrow or on Monday. We are still finalizing some of the stuff to make everything perfect. We have to test everything, but we just wanted to let you know that this is the great update which is coming. So here is it. You're free to try it starting from today. It's already working. So you don't have to wait for the release. You can just download the beta version and it's there. So this is the main cool feature which we have introduced today. And probably we covered most of the stuff we wanted to tell you today. And it's the good time to switch to the Q&A session. So if you have any questions, just put them in the chat window or in the separate question and answer dialogue.
Yeah, of course, we're planning to asking about questions, but the second one that I want to please, Colton, can you tell to us more about your experience of using video transport in your scenario, in your streams with your friends and your colleague?
Yeah, thank you very much, Daniel. I kind of forgot that we have planned also to have some kind of feedback from our honored client, Holton. Yeah, please go on with your description, how you use it, and your experience.
Awesome. Yeah. So basically, what we wanted to do is we wanted to take me and my first cousin. We game a lot together, and we wanted to create a new channel on Twitch that is not ever been seen before. You know, we have multiple people, but they've always been in the same house. We have lives, we have, you know, full-time jobs, we have families. We can't be coming to the same house to stream all the time like we wanted to. You know, we do the split screen streaming, and the idea is we wanted to find a way to get the remote access and feeds. And to do this, we found that NDI was awesome, but there was a huge limitation to NDI, and that limitation was the fact that you could only be on the same network, and then you wouldn't be able to see anybody outside the public IP. Medialooks has been fantastic because it allows us to pass NDI over public IP, super low latency, to where it's not even noticeable on a stream. And we take those sources and we can configure like you see right here on the screen. Me and my cousin, yeah, we're about, I want to say 30 miles apart across the city. And we pull it in using the VT publisher and receiver. We also use OBS to separate our cams and our game. And that also minimizes any audio video delays through OBS limitations. So yeah, it's been a fantastic journey.
Okay, Holden, many thanks for you. And I suppose our viewer can asking some question, not only for me or Alex, and you can you can asking and tell more from some questions. Okay, Alex, let's start let's starting to.
Yeah, the first question I see in Q&A is, can multiple guests or contributors use single URL link at the same time? Yes, and the way it's designed now is that you actually have to send the same URL. So basically, they will share the same return feed from the studio. And everybody who is connected to the same URL will get his own mix minus created and will hear everybody else who is also connected to the same URL. If you want to have a separate group of people who will be able to hear each other but separated from the first group, then you can create another guest URL, basically another video feed and audio feed from the studio, and another video, another audio mix minus group will be created if you are using another guest URL. This is the way it works. And at the same time, a lot of our clients has been asking if we would like to send just the same video, but with different audio for this specific mix minus feature. Now you don't have to encode the video several times for each guest. Now it's only one stream being encoded. The only audio is being re-encoded for each guest, but the video stays the same. Can you detail again how the guests receive the mix minus? Okay, let me explain once more. So the feed you are preparing from the studio will contain everything, the video feed and the audio there is going to be just the studio audio. So any host that you have in the studio, any audio playbacks whatsoever. So everything which is in your program, except any guests you're receiving from Medialooks software. So you don't have to put any of those audios into the mix. So we are making what we call the total mix minus. So the full mix without any guests at all. And then you are feeding this video, this audio into our software via NDI or HDI, whatever suits your setup. And then we automatically add any guests except the one who is connected himself into the mix and sending it back to the guest. So he will hear the audio from the studio plus any other guests connected to the same web guest URL. I hope I covered as detailed as I can. Is it possible to use the links in mobiles? Yes, you can open as it's just a web page, so you can open it on any device, Android, iOS, or basically any other, whatever you have. Not so many options so far, but yeah, it's just a web page. As long as the WebRTC protocol is supported by the browser, it will work there. So anyone that use URL will all in the same mix minus group? Yes. Is there a limit to amount of guests using the link? Currently, there is a limit of 8 guests per group, which can be increased to 16. Let me show you how. So there is a limit here at settings. There's a number of channels, web preview and guest max audio channels. It's 16 by default. So it's enough to accommodate 8 guests if we are feeding the stereo feed to each guest. But you can increase this value up to 32, which will allow you to actually have 16 stereo feeds and basically the 16 mix minuses. But this is something you have to keep in mind, that we will have to encode those 16 feeds and deliver those 16 feeds. So just it's a question if your hardware will cope with it. But in general, yeah, you can do up to 16 mix minuses at the same time. And if it's not enough for you, then you can also add some more just by using another video feed and have another 16 people there if your PC is powerful enough to do so. So the next question. Is the resolution limitation 1080p for WebRTC? If there is no resolution limit in our solution, as long as your webcam or whatever source you have available for your web browser allows you to get 1080p pictures. Some of the webcams can do it, some of them not. But in my case, I do have a camera which has 1080p native resolution, so it's supported by a web browser and it's supported by our web guest URL. I take in one person, yeah, it's also one channel. Yeah, in terms of licensing, yeah, one person equals one channel used. So we are licensing it as one web guest will count as one channel, and the return feed sent back to the guest is not counted. Again, with a vMix as encoder on the program, all guests should be audible. Do I need to send a bus as studio without guests? I kind of answered already, but yes, you have to create another bus, as it's called in vMix, to contain the full audio mix except all the guests. And that's it. And just output it as an NDI and get it into our software, and that's it. How we can integrate it with Zoom or Skype? Actually, it's a bit out of the scope of this discussion, since we are not responsible for the third-party software. Skype has its own option to output NDI out of it, but you will have to deal with mix minus yourself. As for Zoom, there are some options, but once again, it's third-party software and we can't really comment on it. So looks like I've got the finished list here. So what else do we have? Let's take a look at the chat window. If we have, there are a lot of greetings from Madrid and Peru. Hello, everybody from there. I don't really speak fluent Spanish, so sorry for that. But thank you for joining us. Greeting from Florida. Yeah, hello, everybody from United States. No worries regarding someone was missing this webinar, so no worries, you will have a recording later. We haven't seen your page on the Medialooks VT admin panel. Probably it was at the time we have been showing the web guest. I can open it once again so you can take a look how it looks like. But basically it's pretty simple, just two windows, one with the return feed, one with your camera feed. Let me prepare it first at my end. I can show it to you. Yeah, okay, I got it. So this is the way it works. Yeah, so this is the way it shows. So I have my webcam here. Looks like my background is a little bit not tall enough to cover on my webcam. Yeah, this is it. And you have an option to turn on and off the camera, mute the microphone, turn on the sound coming from the studio. And there is a setting step to put the name, location, select the microphone, select the video cameras, set the bitrate, video encoding, codec, audio bitrate, the mirroring option if you need it, and the audio channels. If you have more than two channels coming, probably will not need it with a mix minus feature, but in some cases you would like to switch from different channels. And that's it. So it's pretty easy to use. There's also a full screen button, so you can open it at the full screen. You can also change if you want to have return feed small and your camera as a wide screen. And also you can hide your camera so it doesn't obscure any of the image which is coming from return feed. I guess that's it for now. In terms of this question.
We have some question about requirements, system requirements and hardware requirements, and I already sent through the chat the link of system requirements for using video transport. It depends of how many channel, how many feeds you need to connect to your each machine. So please open the link and you can see all the table information about system requirements. And
yeah.
We have some more question in directly chat.
One of it is about another competing solution. Someone told goodbye to it. I would not name it, but yeah, probably it will be easier now. Should be perfect if you support Dante or MADI. The Dante support is coming, as I told at the previous webinar. This is something which is really important for us as well. I don't have any exact release date, but this is a feature we also would like to have, and actually we are not so far away from implementing it as well. As for the MADI, it's a little bit more complicated since you have to deal with a specific hardware which can input MADI into the PC. Dante is just an Ethernet connection, but for MADI, actually, if it will be basically the same for us, since Dante is the ASIO driver, and MADI probably will have the same if you have a proper sound card with a ASIO driver. But this is something which we will have to test. Will recording be available after this? Yes, it will be available. Hi from Northern Ireland. I love Medialooks. Yeah, we love everybody from our clients as well. For set, is this set to listener, caller, or rendezvous? If you specific port, does it mean you have a listener? I need to. Actually, it's a bit tricky question here, since when you specify the port, there are two options to specify the port at the sender and at the receiver, and actually, it's not a simple question as a rendezvous connection. Because we have a separate ICE protocol which is used to propagate any firewalls or network address translators, and it's kind of magic happening behind the curtains. So to tell the real story, it will be a little bit long and hard to cover during this webinar. But what I can tell you now is that we have Video Transport version 2.0 coming, which will have a completely different way of establishing the connection, which will be much more stable. And we'll have a few more options for everybody who have firewalls or some kind of corporate networks with kind of restricted security environment. All of those settings, which will be in our next major release, we'll have an option to specify what ports are you going to use and how you want to route the traffic, what network card you would like to choose. So a lot of features coming, and stay tuned, and there are a lot of things to come. Data works perfectly via Aramid DigiFace USB hardware, 64 channels. Yeah, probably yes, but there is no option for us right now to get it into our software directly, since we don't have Asia sound card support yet. But this is something we are going to add. So yeah, we'll also support any other USB sound cards which have ASIO drivers. Okay, that's it with the Q&A section. What else do I have?
I suppose it's all question to us. So it's very fast webinar. The second, it's more experience for us. to do it more faster because it's well of your time. So by the end, a few words from Holton. Holton, please, what do you need to say for our viewers by the end?
Oh, I was muted. Well, I'm actually good. I thank you all for being here, I guess, and I'm happy to be here and help you out.
Yeah, and many thanks for you, Holton. Many thanks, really. We love you. We see all your streams and we're your fans. So and let's ending this webinar. Many thanks for everyone who viewed us. You can see later some later record of this webinar. Alex, thank you, and have a nice day. Be healthy, and great evening for everyone.
Yeah, thank you everybody to joining us today. Looking forward to see you at our next webinars, and we have a lot of new features coming, and stay tuned. Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
I'm excited. Bye guys.